what I did love seeing is him fail at stacking and him feel like shit about it.
Oh, you know what? This is something that you're good at, and you're watching him be bad at it, so you feel amazing.
Yes.
Backdoors and Blindside starts now.
I got maybe the best feedback I've ever gotten, or as a host, as a podcaster.
Someone sucked your dick?
No, nope.
Threw him off his game.
I need to fucking... You get the best of me on this show, and it's annoying as fuck. How is that feedback, by the way?
Sucking your dick?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't suck someone's dick I don't like.
So that's...
Yeah.
You're assuming a lot of every person that listens to this podcast.
Maybe.
I got feedback from... I got word that someone who doesn't like a lot of podcasts really likes our podcast and enjoys what we have to offer. And as someone who does not like a lot of podcasts and think that most podcasts are bad, that's like the best feedback that I could receive.
And they're not our like immediate friends.
Yes,
it's like kind of like through the channels.
This is a purely parasocial relationship.
Right.
So
they're not forced to love us.
Yeah, oral sex is enough for some people, but for kind of autistic podcasters, that's the highest form of praise.
Right. He'd rather his ego stroke than other things.
That's exactly right. That's the whole reason we do it. We're Backdoors and Blindsides.
And I'm Meg.
I am Matt.
I don't think we actually introduced ourselves this season.
Well, I mean,
our sign off in other seasons used to have our name in it, but then we came up with something a little clever for this season of Traitors.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, if you are just kind of figuring out what this show is, we are married. We talk about competition reality TV, and we're currently covering Traitors Season 4. This is Episode 3, Show Me Your Faces. And yes, that is the voice of Julie Chen Moonves at the top of the show, close personal friend of the podcast, went into the booth and recorded some voiceover work for our intro. All we need is for Taylor to record the music beds, and then we're really taking advantage of all the star power that the show
Donna's
has.
our biggest listener, so
yeah, that's right.
And that means that Taylor Swift also listens. So I mean, it's right there, the connection.
Oh, that is kind of something that I want to know. Like, so clearly Donna Kelsey is a super fan of these types of TV shows, and it seems like both on like the competition side and like the kind of Bravo gossipy side, whatever. I would just categorize that as Bravo, I guess. Or like Bravo adjacent, you know, like the Vanderpump,
lifestyle,
the Housewives.
drama.
Yeah, lifestyle is maybe a better word for it. I want to know what type of after shows she's consuming as well. What are Donna Kelsey's favorite podcasts besides the one that her sons have on Amazon, which is just an industry plant, by the way. We are moving along, catching up on Season 4. And kind of the pace that we're at right now is we are doing this episode by episode because Traitors is a very bingeable show. This is coming out, I believe, on like a Monday or Tuesday. We're going to keep releasing recaps. We'll eventually be caught up and current with the broadcast schedule or the release schedule.
Nothing
of
on the
Traitors.
social calendar. We both just checked off being sick, so calendars are wide open.
We're just here to do podcasts and edit podcasts and talk about what we're doing next for the podcast. It's a house of romance here where we are. But I will say we're on pace with though this is the official Traitors recap podcast. We're on pace with the imitators with Boston Rob and Bob the Drag Queen.
Perfect.
We're
not behind then.
They just released their recap of episode 3, and I'm like, if the network produced podcast, if the NBC produced podcast is on pace with this operation, I mean, maybe it speaks highly to our dedication, but I would just think that they're making money off of that, and they might put a little more time into it. But it just means that you don't have to wait or settle for less, because we'll be releasing episodes all throughout this week and probably lapping that show. But yes, this is the official Traitors recap podcast. And where we left off was the Traitors had to commit a murder in plain sight. And Rob C., faithful Rob C., caught on to it. He informed a couple of people. Unfortunately, one of those people was Candiace. However,
fortunately for him, she didn't have a chance to link up with her fellow traitors to figure out who they collectively wanted to murder. And it was in the hands only of Rob R. and Lisa. So, I just like hit my knee and just like did a little kick there.
Just like a doctor's reflex
situation.
situation.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, and that's a reminder for the people listening via audio and not video. We have YouTube videos out. I spend time putting my hair and makeup together, and I make a lot of weird faces because I can't keep my expressions in check. So if you want something pretty to look at, Matt's over there.
When I go to the doctor, this just reminds me, like checking your the knee reflex. When I go to the doctor, I'm normally sitting on the bench and, just my boxers, right, for them to just take a really good look at me. And
even at the dentist,
normally,
you're gonna get thrown out of there.
Normally, the doctor walks in, gives me the one potato, two potato, and then he says, I normally don't like podcasts, but I really like yours, and that's how they get a good sense of where my reflexes are as a 30-year-old man. So we determined that Rob C., regardless of whether Lisa and Rob R. figured it out or not, was the right person to kill, because he was the biggest threat. He's way too smart.
Yeah.
He's a gamer. They killed Ian beforehand. They got to keep focusing on the gamers.
And if he's clocking a murder in plain sight, it's just a matter of time that he's about to clock every single one of those traitors.
It's crazy that, not only did he catch wise to something weird going on, he literally clocked that it was a murder in plain sight, because he's a fan of the game. He also has a respectable program where he dissects gameplay and stuff like that. And thankfully, the Traitors did make the right call. Rob C. is murdered, and thus meaning Rob R. becomes Rob.
Just Rob.
Shoutout. 3 episodes in, and we're already dropping the double names, which is more than we could ask for Survivor 49.
The way that I constantly tripped over the names in Survivor 49. Listen, I'm one of those people where if you say, hi, my name's so-and-so, nice to meet you, I go, hi, I'm Megan. And I have no idea what the fuck you just said to me. Your name is out of my ear. It is on a different plane of existence. It is not in my head. So the fact that we have to keep track of I can't even say it now. Rob R, Rob C, Ron, too many R's. We
Rappaport.
Rappaport. But like R short 3-letter names. Like we gotta clear the deck a little bit here.
And we do, thank God. So Rob R becomes Rob. He is Traitor Rob at this stage in the game. And we get a lot more time at breakfast this episode because of the way that the episode is structured. And something that we are obligated to point out, and I mean this is all over social media as well, is the way that Michael Rappaport consumes nourishment. And specifically at breakfast, we see him shoveling food into his mouth, like a toddler. But he's holding his drink with 2 hands and like it's a fucking sippy cup. Oh, you good over there? Did you get too into it?
I got too into it.
You get too enthusiastic.
Yeah, the bubbles
in
the back of my throat. Usually, we're not like drinking into the mic, and I did that I had an effect there on purpose. But yeah, he's like, "Mommy, uppies, give me my sippy cup," and he's sitting there drinking like he's fucking 4 years old. I couldn't believe it.
I got a text from podcast celebrity Jim Jester about Michael Rappaport's eating and drinking habits, and that made me so happy that not only that he picked up, but he's also watching the show. Also, we love Jim.
Shout out. Listen, there are certain foods which I like to consume in my own dwelling. Like, I don't like to eat them out.
Like what?
I'm a fucking mess. Like a corn on the cob.
You're not getting corn on the cob, but like, what if you're at a barbecue? Like you're at someone else's house, but it's still like backyard vibes.
It depends. It depends.
Like whose house it is, what type of corn it is.
Who's around me right now kind of thing. What I'm wearing. Yeah, corn I want to slather in butter. I want to get the Lowry seasoned salt on there. If you're not privy to that, it fucking
be a
elevated.
with your
Yes,
corn.
I want to slob on that cob like nobody's business. I want to get it on my face a little bit, and that's why I do it in the privacy of my own home. And do I eat other meals? Like we love doing fancy at-home ramen. I slurp that shit. Shit goes splashing everywhere.
Yeah, but you get ramen out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, but the way I eat it at home is different than the way I eat it out. I am disgusting at home. He does not have that social barrier that exists, right? If you drink your water 2 cups or 2 hands on your cup, 2 girls 1 cup or whatever, 2 hands on a cup, and you shovel your plate, you insert the plate over your bottom lip and just shovel the food in. Yeah. That's fine. Do it in the comfort of your own home. Don't do it on TV. Don't do it out.
Cameras on you is kind of crazy.
Right.
And it's like little moments like that just help you realize like this is not a bit. Like,
no, that is who he is.
He is just that guy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I want to know like if he's eating like that at catering on the set with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Absolutely. It's fast, right? It's even faster than probably what it is on the Traitors where they're all just sitting around hanging out, having a set mealtime. He's probably scarfing it down there. Maybe that's where he learned it.
Yeah. He's a specimen, and there are problems with Michael Rappaport as we've seen on the TV show.
You can't follow that statement up with a but. What are you going to say?
He just makes me laugh from time to time.
Okay.
with not just his mannerisms while eating, but his outbursts. It's just like, it's a classic, like, cannot get out of his own way, unapologetically just a fucking maniac.
I like it the way, you watch a car crash kind of thing, or a dead deer on the side of the road.
Morbid fascination.
Spilled out all over the highway.
What that's called.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also don't want it to happen, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want the deer to get hit. I don't want the car crash to happen. So maybe just don't let it happen, i.e. don't cast him, but I digress.
I'm kind of surprised there's not like ball busting from his fellow cast members about that specific thing, but it seems like no one really wants to be around him, so there's not even any like jovial back and forth.
It seems like, I know we have a lot to criticize often about production and things, but it seems like a true production champion that's like, you know what? I'm going to zoom in on this toddler of a man eating and drinking, and we're going to slip a few of those clips in here, and just, it's going to be an internet thing. Like that is production gold right there.
Right, exactly. And Alan comes in, as he always does, to break Rob's portrait and just do his little, opening bit for the day at breakfast. No one picks up on the hints that he's dropping that it was a murder in plain sight, which is interesting to me. It makes me think, how often is Alan speaking in code, and how often are people actually picking up on it? Obviously, the Traitors are picking up on it because they know what happened, and they're the only ones in the room who do know what happened. But like, I'm surprised. Was it Tiff that Rob C went up to and said, "I think they're doing a murder in plain sight. Like, don't do anything unusual."
He had her hide with him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Tiff did not pick up on Alan's hints that he was dropping, because she was, clued in by Rob C. But the big announcement that Alan has for the group is that the roundtable is following breakfast and before the mission today, which is a huge change up. It gives people way less time to think about how they're voting, work on their list of suspects, and just talk to each other. So like the pre-dinner kind of whispering is after breakfast in this episode.
But at breakfast, before we leave the table there, you can't forget about Michael calling Jam Jam out. He's talking about Rob. Oh yeah, Rob was on Survivor, don't you have to like lie and cheat? Wow, to win, must be pretty good at those things. And Jam Jam's over there, a few people down from him, and he's rolling his eyes like, dude, please get off my back. Let me enjoy this salmon that everyone's talking about. And this poor guy can't catch a break from Michael. He is just hot on him constantly. And he just doesn't let Jam Jam enjoy his breakfast.
Did Jam Jam play like a super deceptive game? Or was it more of like an honor-based likability?
He went to the final 3 with his core alliance. So he's has the ability to be loyal, right?
Okay.
But the thing is that he comes across so jovial, so, happy to be around, social. He'll smile at your face, but then he might stab you in your back.
Right.
So that's the kind of, deceitfulness, I think, that people are wary of with him. But I mean, at this point, I'm 50-50 with him being the Secret Traitor, or maybe it's Donna.
Right.
Those are my 2 top suspects. I think it's way too obvious for it to be Michael. There's no fucking way.
Well, we ended last episode with deciding that the Secret Traitor, might be Jam Jam, because he took a shield at the very end of the mission, and there was a focus on the gamers in the short list of players that the Secret Traitor has been revealing. But as we leave breakfast, Tiff tells the camera, in a confessional, that she suspects Michael is a traitor. She's obviously, she's wrong, at least in our eyes, that he's not one of the identified traitors. And she decides that she wants to get close and start working with Michael to be an ally to him and stay in the game. And that's like a real gamer, Big Brother Survivor move.
At this point, Tiff is playing such a good game.
She's awesome.
This is the exact way to approach this type of gameplay from a gamer perspective. And what she's doing is the trope of keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Does she like Michael? Probably not. Who does? The man drinks his water like he just got off of his mom's teat. So I don't think that she actually likes him or trusts him. She just wants to be shielded by him if he, in fact, is a traitor, because he sure is playing like one, at least to them. So she pulls him aside in the hidden book room, and the whole time they're trying to scurry. She's like, pull the book. He's like, what book? I don't know what one. I'm just stupid.
You have to just grab him by the collar and drag him around.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can't let him be in charge of anything.
No. And that's why I don't think he's a traitor at this point, but he has traitor tendencies. So they finally get in the hidden bookshelf room, and they basically miss people walking right into the room afterwards. And my level of anxiety would be through the roof.
Right.
I would be like, I'd be tweaking out there. And they get in, and she's like, listen, you might be right about Jam Jam, but I need you to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Because if he is a traitor, then we're both fucked. So keep it tight-lipped. Stop acting so erratically.
And Tiff sees the writing on the wall. She's like, the gamers are being targeted. I'm next. I could be next.
Sure. Yeah.
One of few left.
A gamer is coming after gamers, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
in her eyes.
But that goes in the playbook, I think, as a faithful, to get close with the people you suspect, which is actually something that inadvertently Dylan was doing last season, but it got the best of him over and over again because he got close with Boston Rob, he got close with Danielle, right? It ultimately, he ended up winning the game, but that did kind of work to his advantage because he was playing well as a faithful, but the traitors kept him around because he was an ally to them.
And he was the faithful of all the faithfuls.
Yeah.
So
yeah, faithful playbook definitely includes getting close with your suspects.
But it's interesting to see Tiff do it. She's trying to do it intentionally here. She's like, who do I think a traitor could be? She thinks it's Michael. She's like, I need to get close with him because he will protect me in the turret. And then the rest of the game is on me, and I can protect myself.
Her other allies, etc. While we're suspecting Michael, Donna turns the spotlight onto Michael because Donna's name is still being thrown around all over the house. Kind of the same attitude that was, around with the last roundtable. And she puts the spotlight on Michael. Jam Jam is in the room. And I think this is a great move on Donna's part. Go with someone else's point instead of leading the charge. So if Jam Jam is a traitor, right? Jam Jam can jump on Donna's point, or Donna could jump on, if it's Donna versus Michael, which is what the roundtable ends up being, Donna jumps on Jam Jam's point. But I think if Jam Jam's playing as a traitor, you know, obviously you want to take the heat off of yourself. Donna points out Michael and you go, Donna, that's a great point. I do think Michael's a traitor. Make sure that it's someone else's idea.
It's never my idea.
Yes,
it's
never,
always your idea. I'm manipulating, I'm fueling, I'm agreeing, I'm encouraging, but it's never perceived as my idea, because we see what happens with someone like Ron, who tries to lay out his 18,000 pieces of evidence against Portia, and he still can't get past that.
Because he comes off too hot.
Yeah.
So, and I want to come back to that specific tactic later on in this episode. But we move on to the roundtable, and exactly, the heat is on.
Well, before we actually get to the roundtable, I did want to add in there was a moment where everyone's kind of huddled in a room and they're like, so it's Donna tonight, right? Donna. Yeah, we think Donna's a traitor. And they're all talking. And poor Donna is like walking right by, and she hears everyone going, shh, shh. And she hears people saying her name. I'm like, how shitty has that got to feel?
Yeah, well, and especially because, like, it's her, right?
Right.
Like, it's someone who comes off as, like, very non-threatening. We don't know
America's mom. We've said it before.
We don't know a lot about her as a personality, aside
and she's
from,
the most outsider of the bunch,
yes,
right?
And we talked about that from the start. Is like, and that's, I think, been to her disadvantage this entire time. And unfortunately, like, the people that she's gotten close with are major suspects in the house. Ron, who, you know, I think it's his own doing, but is a suspect, and Michael, who is making such a fool of himself that, like, it's not really a good look to be so publicly aligned with Michael. Another good move that Tiff is making, she's doing it in the shadows. She's not really working with Michael when people can see. That's why she goes into the hidden room, right? And I think that's smart, because you don't really want to be on the Michael side.
Later in the episode, we play not a smart move on Tiff's part, but if I'm Donna, right, I think just show some emotion. I think she's very stoic. I think that's just her personality. I think she has a sense of warmth to her, but I think we talked about it in one of our last episodes where the Swifties at first were a little apprehensive to Donna because they were like, she doesn't seem to be warm to Taylor in the booth, and like, how's their relationship, whatever. So people were a little, about Donna at first, but, and I think that's just kind of who she is. But literally, Donna, just start crying.
Yeah, dude. If Donna Kelsey starts crying at the round table,
could you imagine?
Are you gonna do,
are you voting her out if she's crying?
Yeah.
No. Are you voting her out if she's crying before the round table to a group of people? Like, guys, I just heard you out there. You were saying my name. You were saying, I already feel on the outside. I don't know how else to prove it to you. I am not a traitor. You know what I mean? Cry. You know how many situations that I've gotten out of from crying? Plenty. Like, yes, feminism, but also, yes, crying in situations. My best crying that I've ever done, and it was real. It was real tears, but I fueled it up a little bit, was I had an MRI, and it was at like 7 p.m. I had no idea that you could book them that late. I was like, sweet, after work, perfect, booked it. We didn't have my doctor's, I don't know, some fucking authorization form. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and this lady, end of her shift. She doesn't want to be there. She's giving me the business. Yeah. She's pissed off at me.
You're a
She's
number
like,
to her.
I'm a number to her. Stupid patient didn't follow doctor's orders that she didn't even know about. So whatever. And so she leaves to go do something, and she comes back, and I'm bawling my eyes out on the other side of this counter. And she's like, just flipped a switch. Oh, honey, she gave me a honey.
Man.
That's when you know.
The honey's good.
That's when you know you're in. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I didn't know I needed this. Of course, I would have brought it if I knew, but I didn't. And she ended up calling the doctor, and the doctor was able to like authorize over phone or get it. I was able to get an MRI that night, and I attribute it to me crying. So in this situation, I think it is this exact same thing. Donna just shed a little tear for me. Shed a big tear.
Run it with some of the younger players in the house.
Yes, absolutely.
Really work like the maternal angle.
Yes. Give me it in front of Mara. Mara?
Yeah.
Is
Mara.
that Mara? Yeah. Give me it in front of even like Kristen and Caroline and the women for sure. But maybe, someone like Rob R. He seems to be a softie.
Right. I mean, and like unbeknownst to her, he's a traitor, but like it could make him realize, okay, I want to keep Donna as an ally because if I protect her here, she might be close with me, which means I can steer her. I can play her the way that like Boston Rob played Dylan or something like that.
And I think this is Donna's biggest misstep. I don't think she allows her emotions to be outwardly presented, and it doesn't have to be truthful. Just cry for me a little bit. And I think she would have, I think she would have been able to sway some people.
Well, let's save, there are, I think, a few reasons why she was miscast, but let's work through the roundtable first. Spotlight is on Donna. Spotlight is on Michael. Those are the two names that are being thrown around the most. Michael starts ramping up against Jam Jam, which is, I think, really stupid when it's like kind of a split vote at the moment.
Right. Just go for the person who's...
Go with the other person.
Right.
Work against them. But instead, he's got it out for Jam, and he starts singing, "If you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands," and actually gets through like the entire verse.
He goes through the whole thing. How agonizing. And we even are seeing it cut up in a more interesting way, right? We're seeing Michael, we're seeing Jam Jam, we're seeing the whole table. It's going back and forth. You know, maybe it's sped up a little bit. Could you imagine sitting at that round table, just listening to him go? I'd be like, Michael, shut the fuck up. Can we please get on with our banishment? Please.
Right. I mean, it's just making noise for the sake of making noise. There's no case being made. There's no evidence. It's just...
I'm over all of his adjectives too. I don't even remember what he threw out there this time. But he just lists adjectives, and he just expects people to be like, yes, those adjectives are good ones. Thank you.
Yeah. Again, I think if you're just going to like be coming for people, you need at least to have some allies who are going to back you up and maybe vote along with you. But it seems like I don't know, like even Donna and Ron, who were like, you know, supposedly kind of allies with Michael, are not really interested in what he is saying. Aside from, well, Donna's playing it smart because Donna's going to go and vote for Michael because that's the other side of the vote. Yeah. You don't really have a choice unless you're bad at the game. There isn't really a lot of other evidence presented against anyone.
Just that Donna's too quiet and Michael's too loud.
Right. And we lay the vote down, and Michael's misbehaving doesn't really sway anyone because it is a majority vote to banish Donna. There's one vote for Michael, which is Donna's vote, and then Michael votes for Jam Jam, which is like, I just don't understand. If it's such a clear majority, you just roll with it, because even if you are a faithful, you're just calling attention to yourself.
Right.
Like but you're afraid of Jam Jam.
Jam Jam seems pretty unfazed by all of this.
Yeah.
It just feels, it looks to him like he's feeling like just someone just like keeps picking on the back of his neck. He's like, fucking, this gnat just won't go away. Leave me alone. Right. But nothing that's, you know, going to sink his teeth into him and really get him at this point. And Jam Jam does at the round table try to fight for Donna a little bit. He says, you know, I need you to talk more. The whole reason that you're in this position is because you don't talk enough. I need you to talk more to try to get yourself out of this sticky situation. And she just can't do it. But again, Donna, you don't need to talk. Just cry. Just cry.
Just cry. The rest of the people at that table are stars. They've had their moment on television. And if they are made to feel like they're taking your one moment away from you, you're going to get... It's your best shot.
It would flip me.
You may not flip the entire group, but it's your best shot, and it's kind of your only shot.
Because listen, if her back is truly against the wall and she is a faithful and she doesn't know how to portray it any way else, it's just that raw, unfiltered frustration that you can weaponize in the form of
Exactly.
tears. So, and I think it would be a 180 because yeah, she is stoic. She is, generally kind of neutral, emotionless, that side of things, not really emotive or really expressive even in her facial features and how she moves her face. So yeah, if she just slapped this on the table, then I would be, if I came in wanting to vote Donna, I'd be like, whoa, wait a second. Like, maybe I do have it wrong because she really is upset right now. She is upset because she hasn't shown any other emotion this entire time. But Rob, Lisa, and Candiace all voted together, our traitors, to banish Donna, landslide vote out, and holy shit, Donna's a traitor.
She steps into the circle of truth.
And I, at this point, my jaw was on the floor with the rest of them because that's who I clocked in episode 1.
Right. I think we ended episode 1 recap by saying that it was probably Donna.
Yes. And then, some production magic happened in episode 2 where I'm like, I know who Jam Jam is. I watched all of his Survivor season. He has it in him. He has it in him to be a traitor. I thought maybe it was him, but at least one of the times I was right guessing. That's all that matters.
Let's start there. It should have been Jam Jam or Tiffany or Rob C or Ian. It should have been a gamer.
Yeah.
Because I think that this completely backfired on the show.
And I think it backfired by not letting her be integrated before the banishment.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. It just fizzled out, unlike anything I've seen on this show up to this point. Because this show, all we did was praise it. Like, this show gets it right almost all of the time. This was a moment where they really didn't get it right. And I understand Donna Kelsey is the attention grabber out of anyone on this cast, really, from just like the common viewers' eyes.
But make her a real traitor.
She should have been, she should have been
one of the
a
3.
selected, she should have been tapped on the shoulder.
Sure.
And that would have made for, maybe she gets banished either way, but at least we got to see her work. There's no meetup, there's no great reveal, and it just feels like a wasted space in so many ways where
It left me wanting more.
If it was a gamer, I just think that it would make it a lot more interesting. And I think you need someone who is going to be good at staying under the radar up until you get to that meeting, because that's when the show gets interesting. That's also when the show gets harder for the traitors, I think, because you said this once, 4 people's a lot in the turret. That's a crowded ass little room, and it's a lot of opinions, and it's a lot of people with their own allies clashing over who they should murder that night. And I think that it's a great advantage to the other 3 that she has been booted early.
But also the other 3 are just so hunky-dory up in the turret anyways, that they're just like, yep, this makes sense. There's no, at this point, traitor on traitor disagreement or, they're all banding together and working together, which is unlike some that we've seen in the past, which is interesting. Yeah. But there's a subset of people out there on the interwebs, some people on Reddit that are like, I'm glad a gamer's not in the turret. I think gamers ruin the game. And to them, I say, fuck you, because that is not how this game is played. The gamers make this show. It would not be a show without the gamers.
I think they keep the momentum going,
Absolutely.
Especially early on when there is so many different directions to go in.
It was just such a bad take that I'm like,
yeah, that's kind of
it's a strategic murder mystery show.
Well, and it's supposed to be a melting pot of all different types. The reason that the Bravo cast is interesting is because they have to work with the gamers. And the reason that the gamers are interesting is because they have to work with the Bravo cast. They have to play a game that they're not used to. They have to work with people whose brains are operating differently than theirs are.
And everyone's there to make a TV show together, right? These aren't random people off the street. They're all looking at each other like, is Michael acting a fool because that's who he is, or because he knows cameras are around and he's trying to uplift the show and inflate it a little bit and do his part actively. Yeah. So I don't know.
They're just, but like I think Donna was miscast no matter what. I get like it brought the appeal. I guess they released the first 3 episodes all at once. So you got your Swiftie viewers for 1 weekend. And then now it's tanked and people are canceling Peacock.
Okay, but I disagree with the fact that she was a total miscast. I think she was fine to be there. I think it was cool to see her. I'm sure it was cool for that other subset of audience that otherwise maybe wouldn't watch Traitors. Now they're getting involved. But I think it's a production misstep for having, the 3 episodes go out in one batch where Donna leaves on the last episode. So if you only came to watch that, congrats. And then it was a misstep on them again by not integrating her immediately into the known Traitors. They should have picked someone else. Even Lisa could have been the Secret Traitor. Mm-hmm. I think that would have been fine. Sure, if you still wanted to keep all 4, or any of them could have been. But the fact that Donna didn't have anyone to shield her, you had, again, Rob, Lisa, and Candiace all voting for her. If they knew she was a traitor, they would not have voted for her, most likely, because we have this hunky-dory traitor cast right now. So the fact that she didn't have any allies to be like, no, let's get it off of Donna. She needed that help. She was flying solo. She didn't have that help like the other 3 traitors had amongst themselves. So I think that was truly where the misstep lies. I think she was still an interesting person to throw in there. I'd be interested to see other people like her in future Traitors, because it's like, you're kind of person off the street, but you're also have these, high famous celebrity ties,
not
right? Not
really like a TV personality, but it's still someone of like notoriety.
Well, even Dylan Efron, he was on a show with Zach, his brother, Zac Efron. They did like the end, like some Earth show. They, rock climbed and
I'm not even aware of it.
They, kind of like a Anthony Bourdain style ish adventure type show. But it wasn't like, everyone knew who Dylan Efron was, and then he went on Dancing with the Stars and all that stuff. But I think someone like that, I think that's who Donna was cast as, kind of that Dylan in that same vein, at least.
Like, if there was the expectation for her to be, well, it's like, that's the thing though, like she didn't have the same expectation as Dylan, because like Dylan was set up to be the baby face of that show. She wasn't. She was the secret traitor. It just would have been nice to like actually watch her work. It would have been nice to watch her go back and forth and deliberate with others over who should be murdered. To have her be involved in the murder in plain sight, I think would be really interesting. And I don't know. It was
a miss.
It's just she went out with a whimper, and it's a rare misstep for Traitors. But we move on to our mission for the day, and while they're still at the house, Alan informs them that they all must pair up with who you most trust in the house. And so we see, for instance, Rob and Mara, because they're Love Island buddies, right? Well,
they got to be banging in that house, right?
More of that comes up, I think, as the show progresses. I think we're jumping ahead a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm watching it, and I watch them pair up in this moment, and I'm like, you guys, what happens when you go back up to your room?
Well, because they I think Rob, or just Rob at this point, says pretty early in the first episode, like, oh, this is way different than Love Island. I have all my clothes on. I haven't made out with anyone yet, which is like, self-aware.
He said funny. Yet though.
Yeah, exactly.
He said yet.
Exactly. So, Showmance and Traitors would be interesting, and I don't think we've gotten that yet, have we?
No, I'm a showmance sucker. I love a little showmance.
Sure.
I think it gets messy. I think it gets... I love a little bit of raunch in there.
That's why they push it, is because everyone wants to see people banging, and everyone wants to see the conflict of interest that's generated when someone who's responsible for getting someone out, whether it's a banishment or a murder, is now biased because it goes further than just an in-game alliance.
Sure.
But
it's like a genital alliance.
Poor Ron is the odd man out.
At this point, I feel so bad for this man, because they are just coming for his throat, and all he did was lay out actual things. What he said wasn't a lie. They were real truths that we saw as viewers, that other people were around to witness to Portia's missteps and saying we and kill this person and I think there's this many traitors and that's he actually brought hard evidence. She was just a horrible faithful. Right. And he's suffering the consequences for that. And I feel bad for him. I there's always a soft spot in my heart for that kind of like outsider that the kid that's getting bullied almost.
We're both kind of wired that way. We're like, I don't like seeing someone who's left out of something. And like if I'm in the same room and I kind of see that going on, I try my best to make an effort to like just include them or at least start something new on the side with like start a new conversation or whatever, because I don't know what you call that. I guess, what is it, like empathy?
Whoa.
I don't know.
Whoa.
That's
crazy.
Being a nice person. No, just like my heart would hurt seeing that happen as well. And look, you know who the one person is who points it out and apologizes? It's Michael.
He does, and he asks if he wants to like switch because Ron said he just didn't want to be alone.
And I think that in that moment, I think that is a nice moment of humanity from Michael Rappaport.
He fucking needs it, man.
He sure fucking does.
He needs it wherever he can get it.
He goes, oh, Ron, oh, you're left out. Oh, like, do you want to? He offers up Tiff. He's like, you can have Tiff. I'll be the odd man out.
Fall guy.
Tiff also pairs up with Michael. Like, no, we're going to do this together. Like, she's really working that angle with him. And, Ron says, it's okay. Like, because also, like, if Ron says yes, that's kind of suspect, right?
Right.
So
he's stuck.
He's fucked either way. But, like, at least, I don't know, it just seems like no one's even acknowledging that he's the odd person out. And, it's like, I guess it's a little cliquey and I don't know. There is not as much chemistry and, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like good vibes amongst this cast as there were in the last season.
No.
Which I was telling someone today, like it's the Backdoors and Blindsides curse. Whatever season of something we're covering, it gets fucked up. There's controversy. There is mishaps on the production side. There are problematic players.
That's just Hollywood, baby.
Sorry that I guess we brought it to Traitors, at least for the time being. But as we make our way to the mission, there is a circle of cages, real medieval shit. And the pairs choose who gets locked in the cage between the two of them, and their outside partner is responsible for the task to free the other from the cage. Whoever is stuck in the cage after time is up for this mission is up for murder. Ron is automatically up for murder. And what sucks is he has to be in a cage. Like, he can't at least stand out to the side because he was the odd man out. They just tell him, you're going to be in a cage for half an hour. And I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
So, but I do like, he's kind of like kicked back and, he's doing bits, he's just kind of like doing shtick about people who are fucking up in their challenges.
But there's a nice little pad on the bottom of it.
Yeah,
it's not...
at least, it's not like truly dehumanizing, I guess. I mean, they're not like in pain, but it's still, I'm like, fuck, dude, come on. Like, just at least leave him at the house. Leave him behind. Leave him in the castle. He'd probably love that. Wouldn't you love that?
It'd be funny if it was just like Ron, they're out there, looking for skulls and being trapped in cages, and it was just cutting back to Ron, like, eating little finger foods.
There was already a round table. You can just get drunk. You can just get day drunk at the castle.
Warming his hands by the fire.
You just get into the wine early.
I would love that. You just have Johnny running around in circles in the woods, and then we cut to Ron just... nonchalant in the castle. That would be some fun editing.
I think that would have been the right move here. But the challenge is, first of all, the druids, Alan's druids, emerge from the woods and carry the cages off as everyone follows in suit, which is sick. And they enter like this swampy, marshy area. These outside players have to find 10 skulls that are hidden in the swamp and stack them on a podium in front of their partner's cage. Once all 10 skulls are stacked, their partner is free and safe from murder for that night. And every released player adds $5,000 to the prize pot. So we get like a brief reminder here as they exchange like looks that Tara and Johnny are aligned, but they're not directly working with each other yet. So just another reminder, like that kind of unspoken alliance that I feel like we're going to see a lot more of if they keep alluding to it, or we keep just getting like quick references, in the edit. And the first to free their partner is Rob. So Rob is like kind of crushing it in all of these missions. On top of crushing it as the traitor, I think Rob is the best of the traitors.
Oh yeah,
and he's the one that I'm enjoying watching the most this season. He frees Mara, and then Steven frees his partner Jam Jam. Monet frees Natalie. Tiff frees Michael.
Which, pause for a second. Monet and Natalie as a team, I love this combination. I want to see them working more together. Yeah. They just seem so lockstep.
Two pretty like physical players too. Yeah. That's awesome. I hope that we get more of them as well. And then Tiff frees Michael and Tara frees Candiace. Johnny does not Johnny doesn't even return in time to start stacking because a bunch of people fail. They don't have enough time. They keep, tumbling their stacks of skulls. There is like a kind of a trick to the way that they lie on top of each other. That's a very like Survivor Big Brother puzzle challenge.
And when I
thing.
saw that part of the challenge, I was like, hell yeah, I would kill this. I love a good stack. I love stacking things. In college, it was my party trick, if you will. There would be beer bottles everywhere, and I would stack the beer bottles end to end.
We would ask you not to.
You would ask. I think I got like 5 high one time. That was the highest.
Well, the party trick, I guess you can call this a party trick, but it wasn't like hey, everyone stop and watch what I'm doing. We would just be doing something else and then look over and you're like crouched behind 4 bottles trying to put the 5th one on. And sometimes there's still beer in these bottles. But it never got knocked over.
It never got knocked over, and I was handicapped doing it by the alcohol.
Yeah, okay, sure. And honestly, it seems like I wish that Johnny had an excuse like that here because it's a really bad look.
It was pretty bad.
I think, dare I say, it could be a suspicious look to fail so badly in a challenge, and I'm going to put a pin in that for later, but the remaining players who are stuck and up for murder tonight are Kristen at the failure of Mark, Lisa at the failure of Dorinda. Lisa's a traitor, so she doesn't matter. Eric at the so Johnny lets down Eric. Eric is the one who gets fucked the worst.
Johnny is just so sweet in that cage while Johnny is absolutely shitting the bed. Come on, Johnny!
Right, like he's very supportive.
Yeah, I just wanted to hug him.
Shit. And round of applause for Colton shitting the bed like an absolute.
What time is it? Okay, we're about a little over 45 minutes in, and we have now mentioned Colton for the first time. So just a quick reminder for the fans and audience at home of Colton and who he is. He is the human equivalent of your dog shitting outside. And you leave it out there for a little bit and you try to pick it up, but it's like stuck on the grass and it's a little loose and you can't quite get it and the shit stains it just won't go. That's the human equivalent.
Is he the shit or is he the stain?
Just all of it, yes. Okay. Don't forget, he stalked his ex. He harassed her via anonymous text. He had a burner phone and sent himself texts from their mutual stalker. He placed a tracking device on her car, and those 4 things, all alleged, of course. But what wasn't alleged was the restraining order in which she placed on him. Okay, I'm off my Colton pedestal, and I will do that every single episode, at least once, just so no one forgets about what a human shit stain he is.
Until he's off the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might, just for funsies, even when he's off.
Yeah.
I might still do it. And hopefully he does get off, because if he makes it to the end, I'm going to be pissed.
Honestly, the warmest feedback that we've gotten on our Traitors recap so far is the Colton hate.
I can't say.
I think it's why
man.
people tune in.
But what I did love seeing is him fail at stacking.
Yeah.
And him feel like shit about it.
Oh, you know what? This is something that you're good at, and
Yes.
you're watching him be bad at it, so
Yes.
you feel amazing.
Yes, Mr. Football Player Lover Boy has a weakness, and I would beat his ass in that competition.
Yeah. It'd be like if I heard him like have a really bad, shitty podcast.
Right.
Like bad audio or unfunny or not an attractive, talented co-host.
Right.
Fun, nice text messages from his friends.
You were listing things. Sorry, I had to interrupt you there.
No, that was
I had
it.
to remind our audience who he was.
I saved Colton for last because I figured that we
okay.
would go down the Colton well. Oh, you don't want to go down that well.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No,
You
get out of there.
You want to have a headlamp on and a real sturdy harness if you're going down the Colton
Maybe
well.
like a little canary.
Yeah.
Too.
And it is announced by Alan that the next murder will be face-to-face. So like back-to-back, we're doing murder in plain sight, face-to-face murder. We're like
Love it.
really working. And I mean, I think this is all to make it harder for the traitors, which is, I think, good thing to keep it even because the Secret Traitor's out, so that's less conflict. And they are all really harmonious.
And listen, none of them at this point have any heat on them.
No.
Rob who? Candiace, she threw herself in some public, disagreements and chatter, but
Well, Michael's taken all of the heat off of her.
and then Jam Jam's taking it to some off of Michael, and then we have Ron in the mix. They're all kind of these big, huge shields for our traitors right now, going pretty much undetected.
Right. We're basically almost done here because there is not much at dinner because there's no roundtable. Right. So everyone really is winding down. Everyone's just a little nervous about what that murder is going to be. But yeah, important to note, the people who did not make it out of the cage are forced to stay behind and get blindfolded and tied to a tree where the murder face-to-face will happen. And so everyone goes up to bed. Our 4 faithfuls who are tied to trees and up for murder are Caroline, Ron, Eric, and Kristen, because Lisa is a traitor. So Lisa is walking around in her robe. And I think this is cool because we end up visiting each faithful and hearing like their final plea, which I think is cool. We get like Ron cuts a hard promo and he's like, I'm going to get your asses. You better get me out now. Like he's coming from like a real place of confidence. He is like, I've said this before, like Ron is playing the true faithful game. And, we hear, I think it's Kristen saying like, I could be really valuable to you. I could be, an ally and kind of play the inside for you, which is I think how I would handle it if I'm in that situation. And right off the bat, I just want to point out like you keep Ron. You automatically keep Ron. He is still a major suspect. Like people are still throwing his name around. They're just kind of biding their time to get Ron out. So you absolutely
Ron's
take him
an
off
easy
the table.
banishment vote. If you're a traitor, you want to keep him. But listen, if I'm tied up on the tree, it doesn't matter. I think someone even said it. Maybe it was Caroline. I think it was her. She was saying, it doesn't matter what I say. You've already made up your mind. This is just for show, essentially. So what I would do if I'm tied up to a tree and I have a chance of coming back into the castle, I would say just a weird word over and over and over again and try to get it in an earworm.
Like what?
So we just finished the last season of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Sure.
And
amazing, by the way.
Amazing. Fantastic. Love it. And Jeff, in the very last episode, he gets in trouble because he says the word cattywampus.
Yeah. Yeah.
He says the word cattywampus, and then he was trying to, call someone.
He's impersonating someone.
Yeah. And then he says it later, and the person's like, "Oh my God,
right.
That's a weird word."
They're like a sleeper cell that gets activated.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I would try to say something, get it stuck in their head, something weird, try to get it stuck in their head that maybe if I prompt them later, who I suspect to be a traitor, and they say it or use it as an adjective, I'd be like, "Clocked you."
Like, but like, so
that's
so this
just the level that I'm operating on.
Well, hit me with an example. I mean, if you're tied to a tree and I'm shuffling up, I'm a traitor, and I'm obviously silent, and you're like, hit me with your best plea.
I don't know. Michael has all of his fun adjectives that he lists over and over and over again. I'd probably just take a card out of his book and just, list 3 adjectives over and over again and try to infiltrate that.
Yeah, like
into their vocabulary.
Like give them an earworm and just
right.
see if it comes up at breakfast, see if it comes up in conversation. Maybe like inform your closest allies to look out for that specific word.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that. There's a moment in the final season of Curb where Larry's arguing with Susie, and Susie talks about how awful everyone's life would be if she had never been born, and Larry starts like referencing It's a Wonderful Life, and he goes, yeah, and if you were the one moving around with the angel, nobody would give a fuck. And I've been laughing about that for 2 weeks. It's the funniest fucking thing I have ever heard, and I don't know what it is, but like that struck such a chord with me that like I'll be on the phone with someone and I'll start laughing because I'm thinking about it. I'll be driving. I'll be in a meeting. It's the funniest goddamn thing I've ever heard. And I don't know why, but I wanted to share that with the world. Who do you kill if you're a faithful here?
I'm killing Kristen.
Why?
I'm killing Kristen because I think she is very smart. And I think from a traitor perspective, you need to keep going aggressively after those analytical faithfuls, the people who are, maybe quieter in the shadows, but have, a weapon of a mind and they're ready to unleash it. Those are the people that you have to keep getting out.
Interesting. I have something different, but I think you make a really good point because
I usually do.
She is playing. She's playing quietly, but like she is having those conversations. And I think that we're going to get more of her in confessionals if she makes it through the night. I've got a different approach, and this is a real long game approach. I say you kill Eric. He's random, right? Random killing is good for the traitors. That's like kind of the most common theme that they're following a lot of the times is killing a rando is good. I think that Johnny's performance at the mission was so bad that it could be construed as an intentional throw to set Eric up to be murdered. So you kill Eric. You say nothing. Remember what I said earlier in the show. You do not plant the seed. But
you can plant the seed. You just don't want to. You want to encourage others to water it.
It's still early. There's still 18, 19 people in this castle. And so someone who is looking at all angles will eventually try to figure out, okay, what was significant about Eric's time in the castle? Well, his partner really fucked up that mission. Maybe, hey, what do you think? Hey, Rob, what do you think about Johnny? Oh, fuck. Oh, I never even thought about that, but
it can't be Johnny.
Right, because if you're sitting around and you're just like, what do you think about this person? Well, if you're in an alliance with someone and you're not as close, you're gonna just start whispering about everyone else in the castle just to get a read. What do you think about this person? No, I don't. I trust them. What do you think about? They go. What do you think about Johnny? You go, oh shit, right? I think that you don't even necessarily have to hit it the next day because the focus is on Ron, right?
Right.
The focus is on Ron. The focus is on Michael. The focus is on Jam Jam. Okay, the Secret Traitor's out of the house, so we know that all 3 of those people are faithful.
Huge fanfare of fireworks. The 3 of them are just masking for the traitors.
This is something that you work over the next couple of days while you let those faithfuls eat each other alive. And it starts with the idea that Johnny could have... So you wait for someone to suspect Johnny, and then you throw that in.
Oh, yeah, you're
as
right.
a reason.
Oh, just keep talking good strategy games to me. Thank you.
Thank you. I did math.
You did.
to try and figure out who was the best.
I saw it superimposed over your eyes as you're giving it to me.
So you wait for Johnny's name to come up days into this game. So that's I think Kristen is a smart move as well. But the most important thing is like you keep Ron. right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Ron has to stay.
So we already plugged the YouTube, but yes, we do have full videos up on YouTube. We are working on additional podcast content coming in February. I'm not ready to launch that full announcement yet, but we have a lot of ideas. At Backdoors,
if you suck his dick, he might let you know.
I'm not rolling with that.
Okay.
But
I said it.
If you tell me something really nice about the podcast, maybe I will let you know.
Okay.
So at Backdoors and Blindsides on Instagram. Anything else to plug?
No.
Okay, sweet. Fuck yeah. Are we under an hour? Fuck. Just over an hour.
Well,
That's
you
okay.
have an edit to take out, so that'll.
Yeah, exactly. Well, on that note, whether you like it in the castle like me,
Or you like it in the turret like me.
however you like your game played, Truth Faithfuls and Master Traitors are always taken care of here on Backdoors and Blindsides.